Hello, welcome. Bienvenidos a Spanish with Profe. In this channel, we will learn Spanish. En este canal, vamos a aprender español. I will be your professor. I am a native speaker of Spanish, and I hold a PhD in Spanish from the University of California. I have been teaching Spanish at the university level for over 20 years. Feel free to leave your comments below with any questions about learning Spanish and any video topics you would like me to cover. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Muchas gracias. In today's video, we're going to talk about commands, the formal commands in usted and ustedes in Spanish. En este video vamos a hablar sobre los mandatos formales para usted y ustedes. ¿Listos, chicos? ¿Ready? Vamos a comenzar. Let's begin. Formal commands. Formal commands give orders or advice. In Spanish, we're gonna do the following. The commands are formed by changing the ending of the original verb and putting the opposite vowel for it. For example, for usted, if the verb is in ar, you're gonna put an e, and if it's ustedes, you're gonna put en, the plural one form. And if the verb ends in a or ir, you're gonna put for the single usted a, and for the ustedes, an, A-N. Muy bien. For most regular verbs, you're gonna drop the ending, the ar, and put the e or en. If it's erenir, drop the ending and put a or an. So remember, AR go E singular, N plural. Erenir go A singular, an plural. You'll do that for the regular verbs. And then if it's an irregular verb, most irregular verbs will be done using the yo form of the verb. For example, venir is vengo. Vengo, you're gonna drop the O and then change so venir is an IR ending. You're gonna say vengo, drop the O, and then change that to an A. So venga. Venga, if it's plural, vengan. And let's do salir. Salir is the present form of salir in the yo form is salgo, drop the O, and salir is an erenir ending, so you're gonna put that an a. Salga or salgan, okay? But remember, there'll be some other ones that are gonna be different. For example, dar is de with a tilde, and the plural one will be den without a tilde. Estar is este with a tilde, and plural is estén with a tilde. Ir is totally weird. It's vaya. If it's plural, it's vayan. Saber is sepa. If it's plural, it's sepan. And ser is sea. If it's plural, it's sean. So if you notice, for most irregular verbs, go with the yo form in the present tense, drop the O, and put the new ending for the verb. If it's an erenir, put an a or an. Okay? So now let's do a few more examples. For example, hablar. Hablar is just a regular verb, so you'll do this. Hable if it's positive. If it's negative, you say no hable. If it's plural, you're gonna go hablen. If it's negative, no hablen. Okay. Let's do comer, to eat. Coma, if it's negative, no coman. If it's plural, coman. If it's negative, no coman. Escribir. It's an IR ending, so you're going to say escriba. If it's negative, no escriba. If it's plural, escriban. If it's negative, no escriban. But what happens when you have a reflexive verb or you are attaching a pronoun like indirect or direct? Well, in the command form, everything, if it's a reflexive pronoun or direct object pronoun or a direct pronoun, you must attach it to the positive form. But if it's negative, it's going to come before the verb, but after no. So let's do a few examples. Dormirse. Dormirse is a reflexive verb. That means to fall asleep. If it's positive singular, it will be duérmase. Duérmase. If you notice, because we are adding an extra syllable, we need to put a tilde. A tilde. Most of the time, look at the original verb is duerma. You'll put the tilde over the second syllable counting backwards or the original verb. So it's duérmase. If it's negative, you're going to get rid of the tilde and then you're going to say no se duerma. You're going to move the reflexive to the front of the verb. You have to put no, then no se duerma. If it's plural, you're going to say duérmanse. Duérmanse. Remember to put the tilde because we're adding an extra syllable and the pronunciation is changing. But when it's negative, get rid of the tilde and then you're going to say no se duerman. Very good. So if it's positive, attach the reflexive at the end of the verb and add a tilde because the pronunciation is changing. Keep that in mind. But when it's negative, make sure you put a no, then the reflexive part, and then the verb in the command form. So, no se duerman. Let's do lavarse. Lavarse las manos. Lávese las manos. Let's put a tilde in there over a. Lávese because we're adding an extra syllable. Lávese las manos. If it's negative, no se lave las manos. No tildes there. What if it's plural? Lávense las manos. Remember to put the tilde. Lávense las manos. If it's negative, no se laven las manos. Let's do ponerse. Ponerse. Ponerse contento. To become happy. Let's do positive first. Póngase contento. Póngase contento. Since it's a positive command, make sure you put a tilde over the O. Póngase. If it's negative, no se ponga contento. Get rid of the tilde. And if it's plural, you're going to say pónganse contentos. Make sure you put the tilde over the O. Pónganse contentos. Make it negative now. No se pongan contentos. No se pongan contentos. In the negative form, you're going to put no, then the reflexive, and then get rid of the tilde, and then just put the verb itself. Okay? No se pongan. Muy bien. Remember, another thing is that in the command forms, verbs that were stem changing will continue to be stem changing. Most verbs that are irregular in the present tense will follow the same pattern. Or the yo form, drop the o and then put the new ending. If it's er and ir, you're going to put an a. So remember that with the formal commands, the usted and ustedes command, if you have a pronoun in the affirmative form, you must attach it to the verb, to the command form of the verb, and you have to add a tilde because the pronunciation is changing. But once it's negative, you're going to put no, then put the pronoun in there, and get rid of the tilde. Okay? I'm going to give you a few more examples. For example, hacer la cama. Hacer la cama will become hacerla because cama is feminine and it's la. So hacerla. So the command will be hágala. Tilde over the a for a. Hágala. Negative will be no la haga. How about abrir el regalo? Abrir el regalo will be abrirlo because regalo is masculine. You have to put lo. So ábralo. Now let's make it negative. No lo abra. Get rid of, put no, bring the lo to the front of the verb, and then abra. No more tildes anymore. How about sacar la basura? Sacar la basura. That means to take out the trash. You're going to say basura is feminine, so that's singular. So sacarla, and then we're going to do it in the command form. Sáquela, sáquela. What happened here? Wow. In Spanish, the ending in car, gar, thar, and her are going to do some spelling changes to keep the original sound. Remember, we learned some of this when we did the pretérito. If you forgot some of those, check out my lesson here from before. So, car, gar, thar, and in this one, her, are going to do the following. Car will go to QU, gar will go to GU, and thar will go to C. And her, GER, will go to J, a J. So, sacar la basura will become sáquela, SAQUELA, with a tilde over the A and sa. Negative will be no la saque, no la saque. You always remember, bring the pronoun, whether it's reflexive, direct, or indirect, to the front of the verb once it's in the negative form. Put no, then the pronoun, and then the command form of the verb. Okay, muy bien. Pagar la cuenta. Pagar la cuenta. La cuenta is feminine and singular, so it's pagarla. And since this pagar is one of those that ends in GR, we're going to go GU. So, paguenla. Paguenla. Put a tilde over the A because we're attaching la to it in the affirmative form. Now, let's make it negative. No la paguen. No la paguen. So remember, put no, bring the direct object to the front of the verb, and then do the command form of the verb. No la paguen. Muy bien. Empezar. Empezar. Z-A-R. That's una Z, so we're going to have to make, empezar is a stain change, so we're going to do a stain change and a spelling change. So, empiécelo, so it's empezar el trabajo. Empezar el trabajo. So, el trabajo is masculine singular, so it's lo, so empezarlo. Empezarlo. So, you're going to do empiécelo. Empiécelo. Since we're adding lo in here, we're going to have to put a tilde in there and empiécelo. And then if it's negative, no lo empiece. So in Spanish, the rule is all commands, if they have a reflexive pronoun, indirect or direct pronoun, if it's positive, you must attach it to the command form of the verb. And because if it's more than 3 syllables, you have to put a tilde on the original verb, on the second syllable of the original verb. But if it's negative, you're going to put no and then move the pronoun to the front of the command and then do the verb in the command form. Escoger. Escoger is escoja. Because it's a GR, we're going to turn the G into a J for sound purpose. Escoja, no escoja. Escoja, no escoja. Muy bien. Bueno, chicos, recuerden que the formal commands usted and ustedes will do the opposite vowel. So if it's an R, you're going to go E o N for plural. If it's an ER and you're going to go A o an. A for singular, an for plural. And remember, for most irregular verbs, you're going to use the yo form of the verb. For example, vengo, drop the O and turn that into an A. Venga o vengan. If it's hacer, remember it's hago, then you go drop the O and then put haga o hagan. And if it's poner, pongo, drop the O and then change that into an A, ponga o pongan. And remember that if you're attaching a pronoun, whether that be reflexive, me, te, se, no, se, in this case it will be the se because we're only doing the third person. You have to attach it at the end, and since it's going to be more than 2 syllables, you need to put a tilde over the second syllable of the original verb. You don't have to worry about that when it's negative, because if it's negative, you go no, the pronoun, and then the command form of the verb. Muy bien, chicos. Espero que les haya gustado esta breve lección sobre los mandatos formales de usted y ustedes. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and hit the notification bell for future videos. Muchas gracias y hasta pronto. Smash the like button.